Welcome back. Robert Ginyard was just 48 years old and living his best life with a beautiful family, great career, and then he got a cancer diagnosis that would change everything. Now he wants Black men to do what he did, and it could save your life. Joining him to talk about prostate cancer and survival is Dr. Kelvin Moses, who's an associate professor of urology at Vanderbilt University. Welcome both of you to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Robert, I'll start with you. You're on a mission to help Black men get in to see their doctor because of what you went through in 2010, prostate cancer.
Yes. Well, in 2010, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and that was the result of a routine checkup. And I always look back at that moment and say, if it not had been for a doctor who was monitoring me, and I had a great relationship over the years, I was at that point where it was critical to catch the prostate cancer while it was early. And I have to say, by the nudging of my wife, she made sure that when I did go to the doctors to please get that PSA test. And because prostate cancer had run in my family, my dad had a bout of prostate cancer as well. It was important for me to make sure that I get checked. And so now my mission is to make sure that men know about the test and have the conversations with their doctors just to be on the lookout for this. Because a lot of times what happens is when you get symptoms, a lot of times it's a little bit too late. Now that's not to say it's not curable, but you are at a greater risk in terms of the outcome. So it was important for me to get that test done early. And so I really drive home the mission about early detection.
You know, thank God for the nudging of your wife. So Kelvin, I want to bring you into the conversation. You know, more challenging now because of COVID. I mean, if it was hard to get our fellas in to see the doctor before, what about now?
Definitely a lot more challenging. A lot of doctors' offices have restricted hours, restricted waiting rooms. Depending on what city you're in, it may be even challenging to get to your doctor, especially if you use public transportation. Recently, we saw in the literature that there are fewer cancer diagnoses right now in these last few months. And that's not because cancer is going down, it's because people aren't going in getting those routine tests. And so we're missing some cancers, and particularly for Black men, if we're already at higher risk and now not getting diagnosed in a timely manner, we're putting people at risk for much more advanced or aggressive disease.
Absolutely. And so thank you for stating the problem. Now, let's try to work on a solution. Robert, you say that you're like a lot of Black men. You're hesitant about going in. You did. What are some of the reasons folks don't go to see the doctor?
Well, you know, to be honest, I think it's still that stigma that's out there about Black men in particular that are a little leery about going to the doctor because they don't know what the outcome will be. There's this distrust there. And, you know, that stems back to the Tuskegee study some years ago. And then Black men in that manlyhood, particularly when it gets to prostate cancer testing. There are some parts of the body that men just don't want touched by another man. And so I think that plays into that reluctance to go to the doctors. But we're not Superman. And, you know, one of the things that I try to really stress to men in terms of their health, when you have a reason why, then you make sure you're in good health. So my wife and my daughters are my reason why. So I will go for my annual checkups. I will make sure that I'm in good health because I want to see my daughters get married. I want to see them graduate from college. I want to live long enough to enjoy my beautiful wife. So those are my reasons why.
Beautiful family you have. Kelvin, how do we convince our brothers to go in to see the doctor? And what will they go through once they go in for that initial visit? And maybe we'll bring you back in, Robert, to just dispel maybe some of the myths about that appointment. Kelvin?
Well, I think the convincing part is really incumbent on us as the medical field to get out there and meet the people. It doesn't do any good to sit up in the ivory tower and talk about you know, all these bad outcomes, but then don't reach out. So it's very important that we get out, we provide education, information, and access. And then as a Black man myself who's gone through the experience of getting screened or even just going to the physician, I can say, hey, this isn't the worst thing that's going to happen to you. It might even save your life. Think about your wife or your girlfriend or your sister. They've been getting exams since they were 16 years old. So don't be a tough guy. You know, as Robert said, you know, we're not Superman. So get in there, get checked, and if we can give out that good information and provide that access, I think we can improve things.
Stay with us more about Robert's health journey, and we're going to talk about, again, some solutions on getting you fellas to go get checked for your prostate. Stay with us.